This week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I talk about the beers we're not going to get at Maple Room, our trips to Cruz Blanca, Midwest Coast, and then we get excited for FoBAB. All that and more on this week's episode.
Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, got a cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
All you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milkshake wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The Black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nick White.
Feels good to be back in the studio after our venture last week to Revolution.
Man, we knocked a big one off the board with the Revolution visit, man.
I know, it was nice. A good little conversation there, and it was Monday night, so it was nice and quiet in the tap room there on Kedzie.
Yeah, man, Rev Kedzie with this gigantic USA flag and all the barrels. And then, to my surprise, we did a tour of the joint.
Yeah.
Which was cool. I mean, tours are okay, but touring this joint and then trying that beer that one of the employee beers.
Yeah, it was like I don't know, what was it, the crazy fruit thing?
Yeah, it was freedom of the speech.
Yes.
Is it freedom of the press?
Right.
But it was all the flavors.
Yeah,
it was like suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide, freedom of the press. It was so fun. It was like, it was kept in check though. It was big and fruity, but it wasn't like a juice necessarily, like in a bad way.
Right. It tasted like juice, but it wasn't a bad juice.
Yeah, it was refreshing and tart. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. And then we got some cans of the Mosaic Hero Hazified that was getting released that Saturday or that weekend.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is their run of 16-ounce cans, which I believe is the same canning line that produced their double release with Hot Butcher, Base, and then Superstructure.
Okay.
And also their release with Saint Laurent, which I think is just called Rev Laurent.
Okay.
Those are both really fun. A nice blend of both styles for both breweries. Yeah, so this is Mosaic Hero and Citra Hero came out last year, but they didn't come out in Tall Boys, and they
didn't come out with haze.
And they weren't hazy.
Yeah, they were typical IPA Mosaic.
Yeah.
Hops IPA.
Yeah.
And this is tasting great. Like
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to expect, but that I want to say the bitterness is calmed down, or it's not as intense from what you would expect from like the Mosaic IPA because of that like haze, that juiciness kind of comes through and kind of gives you a bigger mouthfeel.
Yeah, mouth feels nice. Finish is earthy and grassy. It's not your typical fruit forward thing. So that's cool. What was interesting was that the label, the guy who does the labels, or the team who does the labels, they also do like a series of Galaxy Hero comic books.
Oh, right.
But then when it's time to do the board, they got this gigantic board. We should post it too. Gigantic board, all the 40 taps, and then the chalkboard above all the 40 taps is I just assumed it was one of the dudes on the shift that did
it's
it.
that artist, right? Or
that artist comes out and does the board
crazy
every month, so that's fun too. Yeah, I like those guys when I feel like I know a lot of people that work there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite crews in town, man. The good folks at Revolution, man. Yeah.
I don't know. Good little interview. So if you missed it, go back and check it out. Go back and listen to it. No video for our video lovers, so sorry there.
Yeah, a couple more notes about that Rev visit. Cheers to Beer Cruncher, the Rev CFO, Doug. I can't think of Doug's last name.
Oh, is he Beer Cruncher on
I think
Twitter?
so, yeah.
Oh, okay, because he's joking about changing the name to Beverage Cruncher with all the seltzer stuff.
So he comes over, mid-interview, something out of Central Casting, where he just comes over and drops off the next release in the series, the VSOR, very special old rye. Uncarved, fresh off the tanks.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Yeah. And there was one other thing, but I forgot. So
yeah, you have to go back and listen to it. Yeah. It was good.
It was fun. It was a fun time. I had a good time at Red.
So yeah, they recorded that on Monday. We're recording this on Monday again as well. I don't know. off our game, but it's a busy week. This is a jam-packed week.
This is FoBAB week. Yeah. Oh, Low Dive. Shout out to Low Dive because Andy, who's one of the brewers at Rev, who made the Quake beer. In my FoBAB doc, I'm rocking this Low Dive T-shirt, and that was Andy's homebrew crew.
Oh, okay,
Low Dive, yeah.
Because we talked about that Quake beer a little bit after the show, so
Yeah.
it's cool.
Right on.
But yeah, I'm digging this beer. This is good. Just what you need for a Monday afternoon or evening.
Let's get into it, man. You do Monday right, and it's like a second Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're also recording a Chicago Beer Pass After Dark. It'll be our second episode of that.
Yeah.
So look for that probably Friday, so pre-FoBAB
Yeah. And this week's topic will be one of many topics. Not many. We'll dive into one or two topics. But we're drinking Hill Farmstead tonight.
Yeah. So last time we drank that large amount of haze, and we're kind of doing it again.
Ignorant.
And so, yeah, we're going to talk about...
Gluttonous.
I think we'll talk about the style a little bit. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows where we'll go?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. So,
It's going to be fun, though, man. Beer Fest After Dark.
yeah, look for that in your feeds. No video of that as well. Yeah. Cool. All right. This past week, then, before we get into this jam-packed week,
Yeah, man.
did you make it out anywhere else besides our Revolution trip?
I went over to Pipeworks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The #1 rated brewery on Beer Advocate for Chicago.
Oh, really?
You do a search by cities, and you can see. Yeah. So Pipeworks is #1.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I hadn't been in a while. And this is the dojo. They were releasing a Fluffy Sando, which is an imperial stout, a milk stout. Mm-hmm. Fluffy Stando is a peanut butter marshmallow stout. Yeah. I was just looking for something, man. So I'm like, I haven't been to Pipeworks in a while.
Yeah, I've never gone to Pipeworks.
Never been to the dojo.
Nope.
Yeah, I think, we talk about they kind of go under the radar. And I don't know how or why. They just do. There's just we're an embarrassment of riches in this town,
Yeah, that's we have so much, and yet we want more. It's never enough.
It's never enough. Even Pipeworks is open in another location in Logan at some point, right? They, but yeah, so that beer, Fluffy Sando, I scored some of that. NVU with Haze, which was like it sounds, it's a spin on the American classic, which is Ninja versus Unicorn.
Okay.
But the real treat was this cognac barrel aged Jones Dog. Yeah, Jones Dog is their milk stout.
Damn.
Yeah, this beer was fantastic. So the draw to the dojo is, surprise releases of barrel aged stuff exclusive to the dojo. So no lines, no hype. Mm-hmm. Just, hey, come get our barrel aged offerings. So this was weird because it said cognac barrels, but then it had a 2018 date on it.
Okay.
It just said November 2018, and then it said aged for 19 months. So I was confused on all that. But 19 months in a cognac barrel is this beer.
That probably had some good flavor on it.
Dude,
Like,
it was
19 months in cognac barrel.
Yeah, wow. I don't know if it was cognac, but the barrel aged Jones Dogs, I believe, was one of their wins at FoBAB a couple years ago. But dude, this beer was lights out. Like, it kind of smelled like aggressive, big booze. Like, it smelled like straight up. It smelled like straight up hard alcohol. Right? It smelled like cognac.
Nice. I hope to see that. I hope FoBAB. That would be nice.
Yeah, I want to go. I should go back. I should have more than one of these bottles. These bottles is like, this is what you need to have. This is what you need in your life.
Yeah. So these are taproom only releases, or can you buy bottles?
No, these are taproom only.
Okay.
Dojo only. All the barrel stuff is dojo only.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it just mellows out and goes into this really cool barrel aged stout. Like, it's not overly boozy as you would expect from the nose. Yeah. It just mellows out and just becomes this really delicious thing. I dug it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Pipeworks, man. That was fun.
That's a good little stop.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else? Or just kind of hit up that?
It was slow motion for me, man.
That's good call after what we got planned this week. I made it out to Cruz Blanca.
Oh, right on.
You had recently been there because I was looking back at our Instagram. I was like, oh, Nick was just here.
I went upstairs for one round. It was part of the beer museum romp.
Okay.
Where I think I ended up at 3 places. Where did I go? It was
start with I forget.
Great Central.
Great Central.
Cheers to Great Central. They celebrate their 2-year anniversary.
Oh.
That weekend.
Yeah.
Great Central, Cruz Blanca, and District Brew Yards. We Yeah. So those were the three.
Nice.
A couple weekends ago for the Culture Summit, the Chicago Brewseum Culture Summit,
Okay.
which was various locations all weekend long over last 2 weeks ago.
Nice. And Nick was there for that, but I went for the Luchador series release.
Like the barrel aged stuff, man.
Yeah, I was gonna get there nice and early to do the brunch because, man, those like tostada pizzas that they have, they're like
Really?
Oaxaca style pizzas, but it's just a giant tostada basically with like beans and whatever else you put on it. So they're really good, but I didn't make it over there for brunch.
But like you gotta pick it up with two hands, like big like that.
No, you like break it off in pieces, so it's almost like eating a pizza, but it's
okay.
like it's sort of nachos and pizza mixed together.
Right,
I
like
wanna
kind of
say.
somewhere like a hybrid kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
But I didn't make it for that, so I came over. I came over later, like after lunch, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat anything. So I ended up picking up 3 bottles. There was 8 total, I believe, and I grabbed 3. I grabbed the Tarzan, which is the banana.
Mm-hmm.
I grabbed the Lady Lumpanada because last year's was like my favorite.
We like kind of lost our shit when we had this beer. We're like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And then because I know we'll probably drink one on here, I got the one with the coconut.
My man.
The Senior.
Senor Coconut.
Yeah.
That's why I fuck with you, Luke Keys.
I was like, that's got coconut. We'll do that one. I know Nick will like that. So I'm excited to have that Tarzan and the coconut one, but also that Lady Lumpanada.
Trying to see what they how many they got. You said 8,
I
right?
believe it was 8. And then on draft, I got the Loco de Niro, which is just kind of less like, I don't know, pastry style, less stuff in it, I guess.
Loco de Niro's an Imperial Blonde and rum and rye barrels
Right. So more of your classic barrel-aged beer.
with coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got some wacky names for these, man.
Yeah, no.
Lady Lumpanada. That was the one from last year. And that's the thing. Like, you're taking a big blonde and throwing it in a barrel with.
But this year, I think does it have strawberry or does it have raspberry? And last year had strawberry.
This year is chocolate, strawberry, cherry, and blackberry.
All right. So last year was raspberry. This year's strawberry.
And this is the bottle. It looks, from a distance, it looks like a big bottle, but it's really more like the Bourbon County size bottle, right?
A little bit, like somewhere in between that. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because you go.
You should check out what the coconut one was. It was the Senior Incognito.
Oh, yeah. Senor Incognito.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's rye barrels, toasted coconut, pecans, and cinnamon. Man, that sounds nice. Now, were you able to try some on tap, or how'd that work?
Yeah, they were all on tap. I only got one of them. I was also on my bike.
You should have got them all. What are you doing?
I was like by myself, and there was like some
yeah.
crazy drunk girls behind me.
This is West Loop. The West Loop, you know, as much as I love it, it's a little broy, little bit.
This girl was
Little bit.
screaming about like having miscarriages, and
Jesus
you
Christ.
need to wear condoms, and like I was like, it's like noon. Like, what is going on in this place? Like, do not give these people these barrel-aged beers.
So,
But
you know.
Jesse from Mambakee was there.
Oh, right on. Cheers to Jesse Mambakee, man.
He had said he'd been there like most of the day, and he's like watching Jacob just like crush this like sale this year. Like the amount of people coming through there was like amazing. He said, like
Yeah.
I think they sold a lot of beer that day.
Good for him, man. Because, you know, I don't know if well, he worked at, this is Jacob Sembrano, the
Yeah.
brewmaster
For
at Cruz Blanca. You know, he wasn't the brewmaster at Goose for very long. He just he got promoted to brewmaster, right?
Yeah.
After Nick left, Nick Barron, who went back home to like the East Coast, Virginia or something. So Jacob gets promoted, and I swear, like maybe like 60 days later,
He's out.
Rick Bayless comes calling, and he's gone. He's like, I'm out. Yeah, that was very, very quick turnaround. And now he's got this gigantic program. I think he took like a full, like at least half a year off, and you saw a lot of collabs with other breweries first, and then you start to see his stuff. Heavy on the margins when he first came out, but then I think he's really working the fuck out of these barrels, man.
Right. And there's still the old bottles for sale too. Like you could buy them at this release too.
Oh, nice.
So like they are flying under the radar, and they're making some great beer. Even Mike Zoller mentions that. Like they just kind of are making probably some of the best beer that no one's talking about.
It's my second round pick in the FoBAB Fantasy right there.
And like even I was talking to Jesse, like Cruz Blanca is super underrated, and Haymarket is like underrated too, but they make that doesn't sound mean, but they make old man beer. Like they make just classic beer.
There's less experimentation.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Right.
And then Cruz Blanca is making like new good beer. Like both those places no one talks about. They're good for different reasons, but Jacob and Cruz Blanca is making maybe more exciting beer. Like I want to try every one of these. I want to talk about them. But if I want a Pilsner or I want a Marzen, I'm going to Haymarket kind of thing.
There are very few 1-2 punches in Chicago that'll bring you more joy than Haymarket and Cruz Blanca. They're like 3 blocks apart.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. I don't know what the best pair of breweries is in proximity to each other, but
Yeah, the Dovetail Beguile thing is pretty
good.
pretty good too.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What would be? You got those two. Is there a?
You got Half Acre and Empirical. No, I'm joking.
Well, you got Off Color and Pipeworks too. If you did that.
Yeah. Off Color and Pipeworks share an alley. They're like, they're right next to each other.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Cruz Blanca Haymarket. That's pretty good. Yeah. Like you go eat and drink at Cruz Blanca, and then you go.
You would go Goose and On Tour.
Yeah, that could be good.
You go Fulton on a good day, and then you go on tour.
Or you just go District Brew Yards.
Or you go
do all four.
Yeah. You go you could go Brew Yards. This sounds weird. It don't sound that weird. I would go Brew Yards and On Tour as a combo. That's a better combo to visit than Fulton and On Tour.
Okay.
Fulton's hit and miss. Yeah, you might have blackberry rye. It might be 17%, and it might taste like wood chips too.
Yeah.
You go Brew Yards and then go On Tour. You're legit on both ends. All 12 months a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. All right. But then I left Cruz Blanca, and speaking of all those places, I was like, I should hit up another one. Like, we always need more pictures taken. It's like, so I'm like leaving. I'm like, what am I going to do? I
don't know why I get so excited still. We've been doing this forever. I still get excited.
What am I going to do? I'm going to do All Rise. We haven't gone there in a while. District Brew Yards, that new spot.
Casa Humilde. That would be one of our misses this week.
They just rolled in there. I was like, should I go try them? There's always Goose. But like you said, I don't know what I'm going to get there. And on my way to Cruz Blanca, I saw Great Central. That place was packed.
Dude.
I was like, I'm not going there. That was way too many people there.
Dude, they got the windows that you can sit in, right? Mm-hmm. The window sills are kind of, stick out, and they got pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was on tour, but then I decided Midwest Coast.
Oh man. Our guy Brewmaster Cameron Compton.
Yeah, I was like
down on the west end of the brewing district.
Let's see what's going on here, because I was like, this is farther from everything. So what's happening over here?
Yeah.
That place was packed. There was 2 birthday parties, kids, dogs. I was like, what? People are here?
If you go at night, probably during the day, there's literally nothing else, customer facing businesses over there at all on that block. Is there?
That's what
it's all factories and shit, right?
I was expecting, not because they're not good, because Midwest is good, but I was expecting where they are, 2 people to be sitting at the bar or something, or maybe a couple having. No, this place was busy.
Dude, you build it and they will come. That is real.
And it's are they getting that spillover from Ukrainian village kind of people, maybe who got pushed out of some of these neighborhoods because it's cheaper over there, and this is now their closest kind of spot. Chicago Taco Authority was serving up food, and
it's actually the closest of those breweries to United Center. Blackhawks and Bulls. Between those two, you're gonna see there's be games every day, all fall and winter there.
Yeah, I was good for them, and also I thought it was gonna be quieter.
We underestimate how much people with dogs love going to breweries.
I guess so, yeah.
Went to the Maple Room. I told you on Bug Day. Went to Maple Room. I'm like, I'm gonna get this coconut cup. It's gonna be great because it's Monday. And fuck you, there's 40 people outside. I counted them. There's 35 people plus dogs on a Monday night. Great Central was packed. Cruz Blanca was hopping. Midwest was busy. Active. This town is active,
We
Brad.
don't. Anyone who thinks we have too many breweries, have you gone to the breweries? Because they are busy.
That's cool though, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had.
He makes good beer too.
Yeah, I had the driving to Kashmir, which we had when we went and did the interview there.
Yeah.
That sounded good after what I was drinking at Cruz Blanca. I was like, oh yeah, let's go that pale.
You go back to the basics. I'm not here. We talk about old man beer, and I'm not like, I don't know what the market is for ESBs, but there is a fantastic ESB on over there too.
Yeah.
You know, and I can remember having one somewhere, I forget, and I was like, give me the ESB. Because, you know, it's been a long day, and I've probably been drinking for a while. Give me the ESB. And the ESB was like super American, like super fruity hops and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I got the ESB because I didn't want something hoppy. You know?
I did hear when I was speaking of hops, some lady or two girls were ordering, and she's like, well, what's the beer with like the least amount of hops? Which is funny to think, like in our day of the haze here, that this has a lot of hops, but it's not the bitter hops that maybe she doesn't want. So that's a very confusing, obviously she doesn't know, but you can't tell her like, well, this is a hazy IPA. Yeah, it has a lot of hops in it, but she wanted something with no hops.
I know people who hate hops. You're rocking the Beezer hat. I know people who, my buddy Andy, he hates hops, but he's all in on Beezer. And I'm like, that's one of the hoppier beers around, to your point.
Right.
But it's not those
not those bitter
it's
hops.
not those bitter hops. Yeah.
It's fine.
So you got some explaining to do. Your local publican, you know, when they're trying to bring people in, because we forget all the time. We don't ever talk about it. Miller Bud Coors products are 70% of all beer sold. We are literally like a very small group, even though this is all we drink.
Right.
We're such a small group compared to all the beer that's sold. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, that was my little 1-2 stop on, what was that, Saturday?
Right on. Look at us, man.
Yeah. Doing good. We're making time. Crushing through this. So this week, what do we got coming up? We got everything that you could want to drink that came in a barrel getting released this week.
It's Chicago and it's November, Brad, and that only means one thing around these parts. It is FoBAB time, baby.
All right, so FoBAB kicks off Friday and Saturday. It's the Friday after work session. What's that, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock?
Yeah, that's 6 to 10 on Friday. This is an $85 ticket.
And then Saturday, 2 sessions, 1 to 5. But those imbibe people can get in at noon, right?
Yeah, Imbibe gives you an extra hour. If you, what's Imbibe? Like the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild?
Right.
If you're a member, it's worth it just to get in this party. I don't know how much it is a year or whatever.
So we'll be there at 12.
You know,
Getting that hour early at FoBAB, it's worth it. You get to get the lay of the land. You get to try some of these ones that there's going to be a line for. Hop Butcher, whatever Three Floyds is bringing.
we walked in last year and we're like, oh, chemtrail's playing. That's the only thing they poured. It's like chemtrail. Yeah, so I'll have that. And then I'll have that again.
There's a couple, people who are always way nerdier than you are like, go try this, go get that. You're like,
That's
okay.
true. Yeah. So if I got the math right, this is FoBAB 16. FoBAB started in 2003. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, this is Chicago's signature event.
Okay.
I think the best party in town is beer in a glass. My vote for the best party is beer in a glass. But this is our signature event. This is our most important event as a city.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So tickets, I believe, are still available.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't sold out. They've been able to up the attendee level every year.
Yeah.
So,
And $85 is stiff for some folks.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's just stiff, period. But, it's for a good cause. The ICBG, they're lobbying for laws to change in Springfield constantly. They're promoting craft beer across the state constantly. Mm-hmm. They're a nonprofit as well. So, when we talk about $85, we view it through that lens.
Yeah.
This isn't a for-profit event. That's what I'm trying to say. So, all right.
So then what are you most excited for FoBAB? You want your picks to win in your FoBAB fantasy league,
I
right?
definitely want that.
It's got Revolution number 1.
The Blowfish are
Cruz Blanca.
are here to win
You
it
got
all,
Cruz
man.
Blanca
I went
too?
Cruz Blanca number 2. There was a rule where you couldn't get a brewery that had multiple locations entering. So if you got so that means if you got off color, for example, you couldn't get Haymarket.
Okay.
Or like in my case, if you got Rev.
You have like a very good chance of Haymarket winning something because of the Claire's Thirsty Ale. Often picks up a medal.
Yeah. If I had a draft board of like, and it went, maybe like 4 picks, like you could only get 6 picks. So for every round, I had like 4 possibilities on my draft board, and there were a lot of breweries that got snapped up right away. So that was cool. I think my final lineup was, I think I went Rev and then Cruz Blanca, and then after that I immediately went Crystal Lake, which we might be going to pretty soon.
Yeah, next week.
Rev, Cruz Blanca, Crystal Lake, and then I got Upland. I needed because there's always out of state winners for like the last 6 years.
Yeah, there's often. What's that crew in Bloomington?
That's Upland.
No, the other one.
In Illinois or Indiana?
Indiana.
I know Upland. They're in Bloomington.
Nah.
Who else is in Bloomington?
Why am I blanking on
I don't
it?
know, man. What are you talking about?
They do cans. They're like pretty popular. I'm blanking. I'll have to think about that.
You got me, man. All right, so Rev. I'm gonna let Brad think about that. So here's the team. All right, here's my FoBAB fantasy team. Let's see. Rev, Cruz Blanca. Then we went Upland, Crystal Lake, and who else am I missing? Oh, Wild Onion. Yeah. I'm like, dude, if this is the first ever fantasy draft, I'm going out with going out with guys I drink. So there you go.
Okay, that's not bad. You really you think?
And Spiteful. How could I figure Spiteful? I had 6, so that rounds out my list. It's Spiteful. Yeah. So I think these are all places I've either drank this year or visited this year. Yeah.
It's not bad. Do you think 18th Street's gonna pick up some things?
I think the beauty of this party is that no one really knows what the hell's gonna happen. I mean, and there were a lot of crews. Like we were hanging out with. Shout out to John Carruthers, communication manager at Rev. That's who we chatted with at Rev. He was talking about Cerebral Brewing, and that was a crew that was on the board, and someone else picked them up. But it was like, dude, I really don't know anything about them. Like, there's crews like I was looking at the list, and Black Horizon in the West, in like Willowbrook, Illinois, or some shit. They took a medal last year. Like nobody knows what's gonna happen.
I was thinking of Sun King, because Sun King.
Yeah, that was on my depth chart.
Yeah, they always have
Fuck Indianapolis.
There is a collaboration of something with Sun King that always wins.
Yeah.
No matter what award it is, Sun King's name gets mentioned.
I tell you, man, my favorite Sun King story is because I saw. Cheers to Carla Lauter. She's the beer babe on Twitter.
Okay.
So she was in town for one of these culture events, beer culture events. Oh, but anyway, she was at my last time. Every year there's a Chicago bloggers conference, right?
Yeah.
It's the same crew that does JBF, right? I was trying to be in Indianapolis one year. Maybe like this is the only time I went.
That was like year 2 or 3 of it, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like you can't sell booze in Indianapolis on Sundays, but Sun King opens for us anyway.
Oh, damn, okay.
So we're there, and then, there's like these classic motorcycles and all these awards, and then they got a beer called, it was like a spring, so it was a beer called My Poppy. It was a Maibach aged in Pappy Van Winkle barrels. And I was like, dude, this is my favorite. This is like one of the 10 greatest things I've ever done. But yeah, they cheers to them, man.
Nice.
They are in Indiana.
All right. I'm excited. Hopefully it all runs a little smoother than it did last year with the ROM incidents.
ROM fucked up our flow back 2018. He fucked it up. Everybody had to spread their ass cheeks. They had to get rid of all the metal. And then on top of that, everything was like an hour late.
Yeah, it probably stopped me from drinking as much because I was waiting.
And then it's like, for what, the mayor? Like, what's he doing? What's he know about beer? Was he a brewer? There's the
He had that podcast. He did like one episode with Haymarket.
Have you made any beer? I don't know. They didn't. No, whatever.
Oh. Anything else? Anything else about FoBAB before we talk about the other events?
No. Whoever doesn't have a ticket should be there. That is the jam.
Do that and look for us Saturday afternoon.
Very excited about that.
Cool. So happening around FoBAB is often a lot of events. What's on the list? What do you got?
Let's see. We're gonna start out in Elk Grove Village at Microphone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they do FoBAB every year. So it's the party of all pre-parties, Brad. This is gonna be on Wednesday. 15 different breweries showcasing everything they're gonna do at FoBAB.
Okay. They used to do the popper thing, right?
They Pale Popper, yeah, they did. So that was their Dark Lord, anti-Dark Lord.
Oh, that was anti-Dark Lord, not anti-FoBAB or mini. Okay, that's right.
Because it was like, what's the opposite of a Dark Lord? It's the Pale Popper.
Okay.
You didn't get Dark Lord Day tickets, come party with us, kind of thing. And then they even waxed the bottom of the can, which is kind of funny. And it's a pale ale, which is kind of funny.
Okay. I mean, I feel like maybe some Dark Lord events run together with FoBAB in my mind.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, because outside of the OG Dark Lord, everything else is barrel aged.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But they're doing events all week, which is kind of cool. Wednesday the 6th through the 10th. So, FoBAB is on Wednesday the 6th, and then they're doing a barrel aged day at Microphone where they're tapping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their barrel aged beers.
Oh.
Pre-game. Dare I say pre-game for FoBAB, Brad? FoBAB is a week now because so many brewers are in town.
That's true, yeah.
You know, and then it's like, what do we do? Even at Haymarket always gets down like 2-3 days before FoBAB.
Yeah, they used to do they used to do a mini FoBAB too.
Yeah, and we bring up Haymarket a lot because Pete Crowley, the brewmaster at Haymarket, I don't know,
help start.
He created
FoBAB.
He created FoBAB.
Yeah.
So there's that, Yeah, we don't want that to get lost, man.
Cool.
Yeah. And these crews did the same thing last year. So Moore has a full week of events. Tuesday this week will be barrel aged Henna Double Rainbow. The next day is chocolate. So they're going, crews like Microphone and Moore, they might actually party harder at their place than they will at FoBAB, which kind of makes it worth the drop.
Is Moore still the sought after brewery after he left?
Moore went in the draft anyway. Moore went before
these
phase 3.
These would still be his beers.
Yeah, so that one podcast mentioned that, when he was on it, Sean the brewer, he was on this podcast right when he split, and he mentioned he had 75 barrels. 75 barrels still at resting at Moore. But then what you learn, and I don't know if we talked about this, what you learned at Revolution, for example, or you even talking to Laugh Learning Off Color boys, it's like having the juice is one thing. Blending and knowing what flavors make sense in a beer, that's a different thing, So, yeah, they definitely got the juice, right?
Yeah.
Are they good?
True. They definitely have the juice. And then also Maplewood. The Maple Room has a bottle or can release, triple can release.
The Maple Room, currently my favorite place to be. The lounge.
That you can't get into.
Not even on Monday. You underestimate how much people love dogs, man. I'm like, dude, there's 35 people in the line and they all got dogs. Oh, they're doing cuppa, and this is on. I don't feel like this party is for me, Brad. This is Saturday morning, an hour before FoBAB starts at 11 a.m.
Yeah, 2 hours before FoBAB, I'd say yes.
Yes. This is 11 a.m. on Saturday the 9th. They're doing a cuppa 3 ways, and I think they're bringing one of these to FoBAB. They're doing a cuppa barrel aged coconut with cinnamon and. Man, that sounds great. And it's in Buffalo Trace barrels. Do we have to keep talking about this? I'm not going to go. It's pissing me off.
I had thoughts to go. I was going to get up early, have a good breakfast, go do a run, go get these cans, drop them off at my house, get to FoBAB. But now, I don't have time.
Dude, you can't. This is for people who went to the Friday session.
Or going to the night session.
Or going to FoBAB. This is if you want to. But see, the awards are during the day. That's why we're going at noon on Saturday, because those are the awards. Mm-hmm. Man.
Because even if you get in at 1 o'clock and this is at 11, you got to get there to FoBAB at noon to get in line because it takes about an hour to get through that whole line.
That's no jive, man. That's for real.
Yeah.
It takes forever getting in that joint.
And if it's cold, it's going to suck.
Dude, I've seen it snow a few times.
Yep.
I'm sitting upstairs,
Laughing.
chuckling.
Sinister laugh.
You know? Beer in one hand, other hand on my belly. Looking at these peasants come. No, I'm joking. Look at you peasants out in the snow.
I've drank all the chemtrail.
I went home and got my 3 Floyd snifter and came back. But sometimes though, like it's like that. Like sometimes I mean, we love FoBAB. But sometimes when the word gets out on what won, unless you got that Imbibe membership, like at night, you can be in the building half hour before the night session starts. And before they're pouring anything, there's like 70 people in line for a beer.
Right.
Because A had already won, and then B, they want to beat. You know what I mean? So now general admission for night starts, and the line for the thing is like 50 deep.
Yeah, it kind of, those sought after beers, like you have to go on Friday, but they've done a good job of making sure like each session has a keg for it. But still, if there's a line, there's a line.
People like waiting in lines. We learned that far in the way that the in a line in a heavy lineup, best lineup of the year, there are still breweries that no matter who's there, they're gonna have a line.
Yep.
So there's that.
Any other events?
Oh man, I think that's it for events.
Okay.
FoBAB, and then FoBAB pre-parties.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
then there's the cocktail after party at Haymarket.
I mean, after the show, it's the after party.
Yeah.
Brad.
I'm going to go home and take a nap. That's what I'm going to do.
You know, a younger me could hit the 98 mile an hour fastball.
You would be at the 3-can release and make it there. You'd be at Maple Room at 10 a.m. in line, probably the third person. Because,
With a dog.
Nah.
No, I don't think there's no dogs out
Yeah,
there.
he'd be third person because someone got there at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
with a lawn chair and a TV. You'd be like third or fourth, and then you'd make it to FoBAB. But
Yeah. Cocktails and ciders. This is a porch drinking event at FoBAB. It's the FoBAB postgame at Haymarket. I feel like when we were at the Revolution Jameson dinner, we saw the porch drinking guys. And I thought this was an event that was going to happen like pre-FoBAB, but it sounds like it's post-FoBAB.
okay.
So there's
Cool.
that. Yeah, if you still feel like drinking. I mean, I've definitely gone out for dinner after FoBAB. And, you know, if it's dinner, of course I'm going to have a beer. I don't know if I've actually went to an official FoBAB after party.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play board games and drink more that night. That's what I'm going to do. That's my plan.
What is that, a Saturday night?
Yep.
This up in the air.
After my nap.
God help us all. I'm going to go probably to, there's a coffee shop in Avondale Coffee Shop. Yeah, I might have some.
Oh, I will slam a lot of coffee. So I'll take my little, maybe like 10-minute nap,
I might go
level
there.
out, slam like a dark matter, cold coffee. Maybe some, what do I got? The Malort one.
It's Monday, so I'm talking like I might have some sense. But Saturday night rolls around, and yeah, all bets are off. We're probably doing all the things, you know.
You'll stay at both sessions for FoBAB. That's what you'll do.
It's FoBAB week, Brad.
No rules.
This is great, man. I think this is and then, you know, I've only been a part of one documentary, and that was for FoBAB, the 10th anniversary of FoBAB.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a special event. Like, I'm just super excited. My favorite ones were the ones that were at the Bridgeport Arts Center because it was a gorgeous space, and then you could see clear to downtown, and it had this loft vibe to it, and it had these elevators that were kind of old school that kind of opened like a mouth, and then like you know, Cherry Rye wins Best in Show, and you know, I don't know, there was something about the energy in those that is hard for me to like. That's the best kind of energy out of all of them that I've been to. The first one I went to was in the old Plumbers Hall.
Yeah.
Doing that thing where I point again at the old Plumbers Hall. And then it moved over, and then it moved here.
Well, I've been sharing like some old, you know, videos and old content we both have done over the years from FoBAB the past week, and yeah, it's cool to see. Like, Ken and I did a lot of interviews with the Hopcast with different people at FoBABs. There's like the one from years ago at Plumbers Union with John Bryant, you know, who's no longer with us.
Where did he brew?
No, he worked for Firestone Walker.
Okay.
And yeah, he lived in St. Louis or Missouri, and you know, big fan of Boulevard. I think he worked at Boulevard before Firestone, but yeah, just like, this is awesome beer guy. So it's awesome to see like we have this tape or this archive of like
I'm telling you, man.
history.
And without it wouldn't. I'm not gonna say it wouldn't mean as much, but like to the consumer, they wouldn't understand like how far back it goes without that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's
There
a big
wasn't
deal.
yeah, there wasn't a lot of
That
people
stuff.
documenting all
Yeah.
of that.
So cheers to people who document things.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I'll drink to that.
we'll be there. We won't be recording episodes. Maybe we'll do some live streams. We'll hop on Periscope before the 1 o'clock opens. Do something before we get all tipsy.
Right on, man.
Cool.
All right.
Before we get out of here, then, any news besides District Brew Yards getting their 4th brewery?
Yeah, that also qualifies as a miss for us.
A miss and news.
Yeah, miss and news. This is the 4th wall is occupied at District Brew Yards. Casa Humilde.
Which translates to, what was it, my home door or like my door?
I think it means an old wooden ship. No,
It's something to do with like my house door. I forgot what they said because they're like the wall that they're on has a door to their house.
I think it's something about just being humble. Something. I think humilde just like translates as like just being humble on some level.
I thought it's house.
I don't know. Oh yeah, there is a house as the logo. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with whatever Brad said. That's what it is.
All right, listen to After Dark. We'll ask Sergio on this what that translates to.
Sergio ties into the FoBAB stuff, you know, and the barrel aged
Because
stuff in general.
he'll be at FoBAB.
He'll be at FoBAB. So then, like, but it happened to be like it looks like a Day of the Dead celebration too.
Right, because that was
night.
going on. Well, Halloween week. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're the 4th wall. It sounds like they're brothers from Pilsen.
Mm-hmm.
And then they yeah, there was like they're doing a 4-course dinner on November 12th. But then also they this is an interesting pick because like everyone else before they got in was, you know, established to semi-established, and this is like a brand new artist.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So I'm very curious. We actually went the week of I probably said that we went the week of the beer summit to there because we were hoping to get like a little bit, but it didn't come on draft until like a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is cool. It adds a nice part of Chicago to this. It adds a bit of diversity to the project. I feel like it's well placed there.
I'm excited to see what they do. I love Pilsen. I think Pilsen reminds me of Logan Square a little bit, except all the trust fund babies have moved into Logan Square and fucked things up a little bit. Pilsen still retains like, you know, that core ethos that it had, but
Yeah.
you know, they're very, very prideful, very colorful, very, very authentic in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool to see, and I'd like to know more about these guys and what they're brewing. We should have went to the fucking thing.
I don't know. We talked to Lacey and get over there and get a little interview with him.
Shout out to Lacey. I like Lacey a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about news. All right. So in the news, Benthic is back from the good folks at Half Acre. This is the reason I missed. I didn't stand in line at all for BCS last year. Well, because I stood in line for Benthic.
Oh.
And they were so close together. Benthic on the 16th, and then Black Friday, like a week later, you almost had to pick a lane, right?
That's a whole week later.
I mean, come on.
Who are you?
Dude, I'm running out of cash. What do you mean? I can't. You know, like you know, these lineups are like 8, 9 deep. You know, for beer, like you gotta buy 9. There's 9 beers you could buy. It's
You were just laughing at the peasants at FoBAB, and now you're like, I can't buy beer twice.
We have priorities, Brad. Benthic is different this year. There are online pre-sales on November 15th at 10 a.m. And then bottle pickup is 11:22.
Nice. Okay.
So you won't show up and then buy bottles that day. Because they probably don't want you snaking all the way through the neighborhood. You know, folks are waking up at 8 a.m. on their way to work.
Yeah.
And they're like, who are those 300 schmucks on my block drinking beer
Right.
on a Friday morning? They probably don't want that. It kind of makes sense. Although that scene is very cool.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the cooler lines. I think my 3 coolest lines I ever stood in.
Dark Lord?
No.
No? Okay. That's always
Dark Lord's fun. Dark Lord's fun. The pregame for Dark Lord is good.
any line at Dark Lord. Whoever you're standing by has beer. Be like, here, try this.
You're right. I was gonna say Puerto Rico Liquors one year for BCS.
All right.
Dude, it was a full on shit show. And then like at Puerto Rico Liquors, It's like they're like, I'll sell you this reserve. Listen, I'll sell you Bourbon County Reserve, but you got to do a shot of this whiskey first. And it was like a total. It was dude.
Okay.
It was on 12. It was fucking great. But Dark Lord, the gate to get into Dark Lord, because you got to line up to get in first and get your spot. That gate. There's Benthic line and the Moore line.
Okay.
Those are
Tops.
Those are tops for me. Yeah. It was fun, man. I mean, because the Half Acre line runs straight through a neighborhood.
Yeah.
But it's like,
That's how it works for Big Hugs too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's civilized, it's crisp and cold, and everyone's just it's good vibrations, man. Everyone's very chill. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's really fun. Man, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Benthic is back. Barrel aged style with coconut, vanilla, and coffee.
Nice. So you got your pre-sale ticket then?
You can go to the tap room every day and write your name on a piece of paper and stick it in a fishbowl, and they're gonna get selected for a pre-sale.
It's the ticket to the ticket.
Other than that, you gotta wait for 11:15.
It's the announcement of the announcement.
Yeah, man. But dude, that beer was great.
No, that beer is good. Yeah.
I think Apple Brandy was the one they were the most proud of, so that's the only one you couldn't get multiples of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Any other news or?
One more bit of news. We talked about the aforementioned Chicago Brewseum beer summit, beer culture summit. So one of the events was at Nice Lounge, and they got to try samples of this beer. I'm probably saying this right. Sepp Extra Pale.
Sepp.
Yeah,
Okay.
SEIPP. So this was a pre-prohibition lager. This is the OG recipe, and it's being contract brewed at Metropolitan.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so this is a slice of Chicago history. So it's going to debut on December 1st, brewed at Metro. This is a brewery that used to brew on 27th and Lakeshore Drive. So in modern-day Chicago, that's near McCormick Place, basically.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So they started in 1854, and then by 1870, they were brewing about 100,000 barrels a year.
Holy shit.
So this was like the dominant Pilsner of its day.
Yeah.
And now it's making a return with the exact same recipe.
That's cool.
So, so cheers to everyone involved in that. I'm curious.
Yeah. Does Metro have it on right now?
I don't know. It says 12/1 for release date.
Oh, okay.
So, but I mean, shit. Nace Lounge was pointing for this thing, so I'm sure it's a go. You know. Yeah.
But probably the party or the official release. 12/1.
Yeah.
Okay.
100,000 barrels a year, for perspective, puts you on the scale of like a Bell's,
Okay.
right? That's a lot of beer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of beer. I love hearing about projects like this, man, because come on. Sepp Extra Pale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's fun.
right on. That's it for news, man.
Cool. Let's get out of here. We got a busy week. Like we said, we got a Beer Pass After Dark coming up. I'm sure we'll do another beer review for the YouTube channel. We got bottles and cans to go buy. All right. Nick, where can people find you if they don't locate you Saturday at FoBAB?
God help us all. I'm on Twitter at Nicosios.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD, Chicago Beer Pass, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And yeah, look for After Dark later this week. And then we'll be back with our FoBAB recap the following week. Take care.
Cheers.